Okay, we're doing another episode of On the Wrist from Off the Cuff. To have a really cool review from the brand RSM straps. A little about them. They really were founded by a group of architects and designers who love fabric straps and cannot get enough of them. And in terms of kind of the product highlights here, we're going to be checking out some very unique and premium strap and accessory options, ranging, just kind of a little sample in terms of what they offer. You can see, of course, they're going to be featured on these great Baltic watches, which I think do a nice job of kind of showing the range in terms of sporty and elegant, but also quite a refined take as well, which I think really suits these straps and accessories in terms of their construction and their level of finishing. In terms of the first strap, we'll be taking a look at the X Hatch watch strap, which is actually configured as a one-piece single pass on the diver, as you can see. And then in the two-piece format, you're going to be looking at a what they're considering their fine canvas strap, which is very, very nice. And you can see dresses up really well, but as you can also imagine, it also dresses down and is quite versatile. So with all that said, let's go ahead, zoom the camera out, get these pieces in hand, and take a closer look. All right, guys, and also, as you can see here, the backdrop is another piece we'll be looking at, which is the wax canvas W.I.S kit. And in case you guys don't know, W.I.S is actually short for Watch Idiot Savant, and it's kind of a term of endearment for watch collectors these days. So that is also something that's cool, and this is actually in the waxed canvas layout in terms of the fact that this is, it's a travel and kit there. You could store things here as well as travel with them, and I think that's really, really nice. And this is in the waxed canvas finish. In terms of the straps, this is done in a black, which is also available in a green option, and then here this is actually done in a gray with a bunch of different options as well. But let's get into some of the details. Let's take a closer look here at this cord. If the camera, there we go. Check that out, guys. So again, not a lot of moving parts on a strap, so a lot of this particular showcase will be very visual. So just take a look here, feast your eyes. Very nice. And let's take a look here. All right. Very nice. So we can jump right in. So this is going to be the X Hatch watch strap. These go for $45, and that is as configured. If you do go with some other configurations, like maybe doing a matte black buckle, then you would end up essentially adding another $3 and taking this up to $48. So while not the cheapest, definitely not the most expensive. Some of the nice things here is, of course, you see this really nice weave. Although it is a pretty basic kind of blocky weave, it is really nice in terms of the way that they spaced it out. You can see there's kind of dots and lines which create a very nice texture, which I think, again, just tie into the very distinct design aesthetic of RSM. And I dig that. And one of the reasons I paired it here with this particular diver is, of course, the dial itself. Give it a little dust off there. The dial itself is black, although because of the texturing there, the grainy texture, let me give it a quick wipe off camera here. Sorry about that, guys. I can see the dust. All right. So with that, of course, that matte black texture, it actually picks up a lot of gray tones, right? So it's black, gray, black, gray. And I just thought that that would tie in really nicely with this strap, especially because the strap just has a certain level of premium kind of quality to it. You can tell things were very purposefully done. You can see even two-tone on the finishing there. This is a sliding keeper. This is a fixed keeper, but it is still adjustable because, of course, if you essentially feed more in and through, you can essentially make this longer. And that will bring the keeper closer to the buckle, or you can make it shorter and it will push it further away. In my case, this is about the size for me that I would require in terms of getting this to tuck without having to fold over the tongue, which is a nice option for people that don't want things to be too bulky. And with this single pass layout, I can say that, yeah, you can definitely rest assured that this will not add any bulk or heft to the wearing experience. So in this single pass layout, it's extendable to 300 millimeters or 260 millimeters. It's also available in a two-piece style in 3 different sizes. Those 3 different sizes are going to be like a 66 and a 115 for small, a 75 paired with a 125 millimeter for medium, and then an 80 and with a 130 end in terms of being the large size. And this is actually available in a green as well as the black. And this is the black, so this is as configured as seen. Also available in 20 millimeters or 22. I'm featuring it here on the 20 millimeter. And you can see, of course, this is with the stainless steel brushed and polished finishing. Although I could probably give it a little bit of a wipe to accentuate how well done the polishing is. So let's do that real quick. So really nicely done there. Very clean, of course, nicely branded, and very unique, even down to the hardware. So let's actually get this on the wrist here. So one thing you guys will notice is, of course, a little awkward for me reaching around a tripod to do this. So bear with me if I don't do it as quickly as I would in real time. So basically, we're going to feed that in. We're going to pull that up so that it kind of helps hold that. And then we'll keep this piece here and we'll have that coming out here. So actually, I can go one more tighter. So then we'll have a better connection there at the end in terms of this seating. So I think this looks absolutely fantastic. Check that out, guys. Doesn't add a lot of thickness, flows really well, and I think again that pattern, although quite geometric there, they do definitely have fancier patterns and more more eccentric, but I do like the blockier, simple pattern here, especially paired to a simple tool watch. I think that looks absolutely great. So very, very cool. And next we have a very interesting setup here. This is considered their fine canvas. These go for $78. And essentially they were in search of densely woven canvas. So they developed a series of fine canvas straps from a Japanese canvas manufacturer. And these Japanese fabrics are actually woven from natural cotton yarns and lightly soaked in starch. So they do have a very interesting texture and a different look to them, even in terms of the color saturation. They're not super saturated. I think they are well saturated, but then some of it is also just the texture, and then I believe the starching that kind of gives you a bit of that almost patinated effect where it just has a nice texture that looks like it will wear really well, right? It doesn't have some ultra pristine look. It is definitely very clean, nicely executed. These actually have different layout options. This is with the vintage stitch, and this is with the white scheme here. You can also get this in beige or black stitching depending on the canvas color. So although you can't customize in terms of, hey, with this canvas I want this stitch, you can definitely see which ones and might pair best for whichever watch you're considering putting this on. This is actually in the stone gray colorway, and it's also available in a pine khaki, black coal, or roasted tea. You can get these in 20 millimeters, tapering down to a 16 millimeter clasp there, or buckle, I should say. And that is as configured here. You can also get it in 22, tapering down to 20, or 19 to 16, or 18 to 16. So a wide range, of course, typically going to be a little bit wider in terms of I shouldn't say wider, but there's more options if you have smaller wrists that you're trying to put this on, smaller timepieces in terms of having an 18, 19 option as well as the 20, which I think is great. And then 22 if you want to maybe throw it on something a little bit beefier. Now, in terms of the length options, this is also in the larger size. So it's going to be 85 on one end here, and then 125 on the other. You can get a medium with 75 millimeters and 110 millimeters, or 65 millimeters and 105 millimeters. So a lot of different lengths there. And this one is very cool. As you can see, very clean. Also does have these nice quick release spring bars, and I think of course the way this is signed, very, very clean, very well done. And again, with the unique hardware, which is really nicely finished, nicely milled, and it's just well designed as well. So let's go ahead and get this on the other wrist here. Okay, boom, put that through, and with the other keeper, boom. So very, very nice. Check that out. Ooh, yeah, that is, of course, if I get my wrist a bit too close to the camera lens there, you're gonna get some perspective distortion. So I'll keep my wrist nice and low here. We'll actually move this up just for 1 second. We'll tighten up the frame so you guys can get a more detailed look at how these might render on your own wrists. Ooh, that looks like that was a little drop of drool maybe. So that wouldn't blow away. Check it out. All right, very, very handsome. And I do like the light matte texture there. It does play very well with this very nice Baltic. So very cool. Let's go ahead and check out the diver. Bam. Again, one of the beauties here is that you're not adding a lot of extra thickness thanks to that single pass layout. We'll go ahead and pull out just a bit on the shot so we can get it to focus. You can see it lays nice and flat on the wrist. Nicely centered, and it does keep things nice and tidy in terms of being able to stay secure to your wrist without needing to be overly tight. So very, very nice. And again, I do like the way that the colors and textures kind of play off of the watch, especially for a watch like this. And not that this is a completely unique watch. Of course, there are plenty of other watches that do have grainy dial textures where you're gonna have something black, but then in certain lighting it can really take on a bit more of a kind of gray tone just because of the way the light's reflecting. So really cool to have this kind of black and gray play on the fabric strap to also, get a little bit of that in there as well. Now, moving on, this bad boy right here is their waxed canvas whisk kit. This goes for $135. Vintage waxed canvas watch tool travel kit. It has a natural kind of grain and texture of the waxed canvas, which develops a nice patina over time when it comes to any types of markings or whatever from use. You can see the little scratches there. You can wipe them, and it's just going to add to the overall look. Really nicely done. Also, 2 zippers if you wanted to, let's say, secure it on a certain front or corner side, or you can just tuck one of them away and keep it a little bit more simple and just go all the way around. One thing is on the front, you can see the nice leather strap here, but this actually lifts. So if you did want to kind of grab it, carry it, tuck anything, that's good. You also do have a pocket there. The backside is quite flat, but it is nicely padded still. So this is going to be quite soft, supple, and also add, of course, a bit of shock protection. Let's do this. Let's flip it around this way. Here you go. So very nice interior here. You can see really really clean. The dimensions on this are essentially, it's going to be 10 inches long by about 8.3 inches wide here. That's just one side, and then about 2.3 inches thick. Very nice. It's also available in a black or a brown leather option. Those options do cost more at $190. So this is going to be kind of the affordable option, but I think it actually adds a lot of character. So of course, you know, you can put anything you're traveling with, whether it be different types of tools and whatnot in here. If you have extra straps, you can go ahead and stow them kind of in there. And then if you have any types of tools, whether you're going to be modding or fixing something, you know, maybe you have a couple extra crystals or something like that, or maybe even just a couple of watch heads that aren't connected to anything, right? Maybe you have the straps separate and the watch head, you can fit that in there. You could fit different types of tools. Also, really nice and clean. You can see this actually opens up, so good spot for a spring bar tool. So if you do have a spring bar tool, you'll be able to kind of throw that in there. Let me see if I have one handy here. All right, say a spring bar tool, you can go ahead and store that right in maybe this end up, right? So then you have that. It's not going to be in the way of anything. It's not going to scratch anything. And when it's time, you can pull that out, which is very nice. So that's a cool option. And then of course, you're going to have these pockets here for storing watches, and they do have a nice backing here. This is a little bit of lint. Don't worry about that. Let me see if I can just dust off some of that lint. So you can see really nice and plush in terms of these inserts. Of course, you would wrap the watch around the insert or just have it there on the back. So a quick example, what we could do, of course, is take this, and so that you don't worry about anything like that. Boom, that tucks in quite nice. And there you go, very secure. And then of course, if you wanted this piece in there too, you do the same again. You just fold that back. You know, say you just want to keep this nice and tidy. Check that out, guys. Very cool. And again, you don't have to worry about babying this because that waxed canvas, again, it's just going to look more cool, more worn in the longer that you kind of have it and use it. You always know which side is facing up because you do have the nice logo and branding here on this side. So yeah, I think this is pretty cool, and you know, it kind of just little showcase of some of the options. And one of the things I've always liked about RSM straps is they just do different things. You know, from having you know, a walrus as you know, their the word I'm looking for is escaping me, logo, bam, sorry. And then it's just really cool inside. These guys have come up with some really cool straps that I featured on the channel over the years. So a big shout out to them for sending in kind of this little care package for me to share with all of you. Also big shout out to Baltic, because I think those watches ended up really coming in handy here. So if you guys want full reviews of any of that stuff, definitely check. What I'll do is I'll put that at the end of the video in the little boxes. They'll be here and here if you want to look at the reviews for those watches. But I think these are really cool things. And, you know, in terms of accessories, there's so many options that are out there. So it is nice when a brand really, yeah, well, you know, when they offer quite a few options and they just do things and they make it feel quite complete by giving you all of those different offerings. Yeah, I dig that. And so this is cool. And it's pretty much, I've always liked their eye for design. I like their eye for choosing textures and fabrics that really all play well together. So there's just a lot to like and enjoy here. But let me know what you all think in the comments below for me, guys. Closing thoughts: premium quality, awesome patterns and textures that feel refined while also being rugged and durable. Yeah, like these are not dainty or you know, they're not products that feel like you have to worry about them too much. And I dig that because you still get a lot of visual interest. You get a lot of great details. But yeah, it's pretty tough and rugged and not too expensive. So let me know again what you guys think in the comments below. If you like the video, please hit like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks, guys.